Hello and welcome to another Pauper video. I'm kalikaiz and today we're playing Familiars with a little bit of a spice, something I'm kind of excited to try. Now last weekend I saw somebody make a 9th place in the Pauper Challenge with FAE Familiars. That's playing Spellstutter Sprite. But they were playing Pestermite in the deck. And instead we're going to be playing Mocking Sprite. Pestermite is pretty sweet because it enters the battlefield and can tap or untap a permanent. But what just happened recently in Bloomburrow was we got Mocking Sprite. It's a 2/1 fairy that makes instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, which means it's slightly easier to get our Ghostly Flicker combo online. And then it also supports the Spellstutter Sprite. So we have 8 fairies with which to use counter spells. Spellstutter Sprite can't be duressed versus something like Glee. And then also you can flicker your Spellstutter Sprite to continue to counter your opponents out forever, which is awesome. So we're going to combine all these creatures with Meeting in the Minds and see how it goes. So this is a test, but I'm just, excited to try something new. In the sideboard, we've got the Anti-Affinity, some Thraben Charms. I feel like with all these creatures, Thraben Charm is pretty good, and making it cost just 1 mana could be good. We have 5 blue elemental blast effects versus red, 2 prohibit and 2 exclude. So we're going to rely on Thraben Charms and excludes versus red-green monsters potentially. Other than that, the deck is pretty standard. If you're interested in sideboard guides for Familiars or other decks I like to play, check out patreon.com/kalikaiz. Make sure to like and subscribe and leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought about this video. If you want early access to videos, that's on the YouTube membership. And you can check out cardmarket.com, the largest seller of Magic the Gathering cards in Europe. Let's get into the matches. Round 1, we're on the play. Let's go. I'll keep this. I have a turn 2 Faithful. I can play a Sprite. Lauren revealed we want to probably hold. Our opponent is on red. They played a Tomb Raider and they're smashing in right away. So we'll cycle, grab the plains, untap and play out. I guess I'm just going to play the Familiar, make them use a removal on it. Then I can play the Mortuary Mire to get it back and the Faithful next turn for more blocking. Then the turn after that I have Familiar plus Mocking Sprite again. Then I can maybe cast the Lorien Revealed. I think mono red in match 1 is definitely the test. They lead on a Kuldotha Rebirth. Okay. Boulder and Epicure. And no attacks. They are attacking. Okay, I'll block. They're probably looking to go... They're probably trying to set up for a Bushwhacker turn. I'll play out my Faithful and a Mocking Sprite. So I go back to 18. I don't really want to block with the Sprite right now because I want to cast the Lorien Revealed. But maybe it's fine. We can trade it with the Tomb Raider, then put it back on top with the Mortuary Mire. It's probably better just to trade it and get their creatures off the table. Okay, they're getting in. Get rid of this thing. Block a bunch. We'll take 2 damage. Okay, they're passing. Another Sprite. Play Familiar. It's kind of sick. Play this Sprite. Do I put the other one on top? Probably. Pass the turn. So now the Lorien Revealed costs just blue. I'm very interested to see how 8 cost reducers matters. They play a Synthesizer. Finds a Chain Lightning. So we just have to make sure we don't block with the Faithful. Familiars can block. They play a land. Is this the Bushwhacker turn? Hopefully they just Bushwhacker here and I take 2 damage and then untap, cast Lorien Revealed. Okay, they kill a Familiar. We can still cast Lorien Revealed for 3 mana. The Chain Lightning is out of exile. We don't know what the rest of the cards in their hand are. They discard. Okay, discarding a mountain. And they already played a mountain this turn, so they have no more mana available. Just getting in. Okay, we'll take the 2. I'm going to start off by drawing some cards. I could draw an untapped land. I do find the untapped land. So I'll play land, play the Mocking Sprite. Pass the turn. But now we are out of action, so I'm looking to draw into any sort of draw spells. Mold Drifter, Lorien Revealed, Meeting of Minds. That means we've got 9 good hits plus 4 preordains. The Synthesizer. Finding a Clockwork. Plays the Clockwork. I don't think I want to block with the Sprites right now. Block, block. I guess a Spellstutter sprite would be okay. They play Voldaren. We go to 16. So if I block here, I go to 13. If I don't block with the Mocking Sprite. Kind of want to just see what's on top. The next turn, I'll block more. We're at 13. They have 2 cards in hand. Down to Medium Minds. So I can cast it for 1 mana by just tapping a sprite. Or just using 1 mana here. That's pretty sick. Finding a Familiar. Play the Chancery. Pick up my Mortuary Mire. And pass. So it was better not to tap the creatures there in case I need to block. I'm looking to maybe try to use them later on to block a 2/2 from the Synthesizer. They kill my Faithful, which is pretty bad. So we probably want to throw our sprites in front of stuff now. Plays a Synthesizer, finding a Galvanic again. Kills a Familiar. So if I block and don't block with the sprites, I take 5 damage. Block, block. Kill this thing. Block here. Down to 1 blocker. Finding a Spellstutter sprite's okay. I don't think I can afford to pick anything up with the Mortuary Mire yet. But Spellstutter sprite countering a 1-drop is good. Reckless Impulse. Finds a Lightning Bolt. Plays a land. Assume they Lightning Bolt here. Then I'll just Spellstutter and trade for a Goblin. Spellstutter sprite. I need draw spells though. Okay, that got countered. They're gonna discard a land from hand. Oh, discards a Reckless Impulse. Wow. Pretty aggressive. So we'll block, take 2. Just trying to get their stuff off the table. Good draw would be a Muldrifter still. If I can Muldrifter into something, it would be good. Yikes. Play the land. I have to wait until I find a draw spell before I can start playing the Mortuary Mire out and drawing stuff. Another Percussionist. This is going to put me to 6. Vulnerable Epicure. Okay. So we're taking 3 damage right now, going to 5. Come on, Muldrifter. They can't use the blood token. They can't crack a Synthesizer. We have a lot of really good draws and a lot of terrible draws. So we've drawn 2 draw spells. Yeah, that wasn't a good one. Play the land. That's turn 1, 2, 3, 4. We can snap a token. Okay. Instead of trying to kill me, they Lightning Bolt my Familiar. Okay. So we'll take 4 damage going to 1, which I think is fine. Like, snapping this barely matters. We're at 1. They can crack the Synthesizer. Finding a Tomb Raider. Come on. Okay, this Ephemerate rebounds. Wow. Dang. Opponent says, GG. That's pretty rude. Rude dude attitude over there. Bring in some Hydroblasts. Don't need the Thraben Charm. I don't think the Ephemerates are very good. And then we can just cut 2 of these sprites. Maybe I should have been aggressively blocking earlier. Okay, let's play. I'll keep this. I have land Hydroblast. Your turn. We do sort of have to watch out for a raise, so I'm not really happy about that. Our opponent has kept 7. Looks like they have the turn 1 Tomb Raider. Voldaren Epicure. I'm just going to counter immediately. Somebody wise told me use your counters as soon as possible in current Pauper. Did we draw anything? Familiar is good. Put that on the table. So in 2 turns we have Drifter, Flicker, Drifter if the Familiar lives. They play Great Furnace. So they sacrifice their land to a Kuldotha, which is good for me. I could... Maybe I just evoke the Drifter right now. Try to draw cards. They play an Implement of Combustion. So they had that in hand. I would have probably gone Implement right away. It's just very odd. Let's evoke the Drifter. Maybe they have double Kuldotha in hand. Okay. Snap Faithful. I'll play the Mortuary Mire to get back to Muldrifter. The next turn we go Faithful, Chancery, Snap, Drifter, Flicker, Drifter. Plays another Implement. So currently Galvanic Blast is online. They could have been working up to a Galvanic Blast. Yep, okay. Getting in. Play the Faithful out. Let's see. I can snap one of these. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll pick up the Mortuary Mire, snap one of these, and then untap. And then we can block and flicker this Faithful if something goes after it, and then cycle the Loring Revealed for a land and hardcast the Muldrifter. Okay, Ghostly Flicker. Try to save it. Nice. Island cycle for an island. What is our opponent going to do? I'm probably just not going to block because I don't want to get my Faithful bolted. Plays an Epic here, so now I guess blocks are free. If they have a land in hand, they just play it. If they have a bolt in hand, they can't cast it. Okay. We'll go to 17. Another Faithful. It's important to get the Muldrifter on the table. We draw double snap. Okay. So we can go like Faithful, Mire the Familiar, Bushwhacker from the opponent. I will just take 6 here. I want to keep my Muldrifter around for as something to snap. Okay. Play the Faithful. Mortuary Mire. Get back the Familiar. I'll get in with the Muldrifter. Then I think it's just snap and replay the Muldrifter here. We have 4 open mana, and the Chancery plus snap gives us 5. Snap. Untap some lands. And recast a Muldrifter here. So we draw the known Familiar, and then 1 unknown. Hopefully another draw spell. Double Fam is okay. So we can go Fam, attack, snap, replay the Muldrifter. I think our opponent's pretty behind. We're way ahead on life. They've got a Synthesizer into a mountain. 1 card in hand still. Looks like they're gonna... Okay, another Bushwhacker. Luckily for me, I don't care about that. They deal us another 6, putting us to 10. I'm glad I've been keeping my Muldrifter around. Familiar. And because I have a Faithful here, I'll attack first. Because I don't need a second Familiar in play to cost reduce this just to 1 mana. So I can play second Familiar, or Faithful. Bounce the Drifter. Untap some lands. Play a Familiar. Cast another Muldrifter. Now we go to 16 again. We have way more permanents on the table. Okay. Chancery, we will pick up the Mortuary Mire. And here I'm going to throw away the Muldrifter if I have the opportunity so I can Mortuary Mire it back. That just basically guarantees me a draw. They play a Tomb Raider. Or they find Tomb Raider off the Synthesizer. So here comes the Tomb Raider. They throw the Implement us, putting us to 15. Finds a mountain. They can implement again. They do. We go to 14. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have everything blocked this turn. Might as well just block like the Bushwhacker with the Muldrifter for the moment. We find Spellstutter Sprite. I'll play the Familiar. Play a land. Pass the turn. Now I can counter a 1-drop with the Spellstutter. Looks like they have a Kuldotha Rebirth. We want to flash in the Spellstutter before the Synthesizer trigger so that they can't draw off of that into an instant speed removal spell for the Spellstutter. Okay, Kuldotha down. And they find a Galvanic Blast. So that was a pretty good play. Now I'm just going to F6. Kills a Faithful. Plays another Tomb Raider. Still no attacks. We find another Spellstutter. I'll just pass the turn. I guess I could attack in. Doink. Another Kuldotha. We have another Spellstutter. That's funny. They find a red Elemental Blast. So they can take out the Spellstutter or the Muldrifter here. They might not even want to cast it if they're specifically trying to not have the Muldrifter die. But it looks like they took out the Muldrifter. That's fine. We have 5 blockers. They'll get in for 2 damage. Or we can just Spellstutter trade with the creature, which is also probably fine. But they're not attacking. Yeah! So we found a Mortuary Mire. We found a Muldrifter off the top. We have triple Familiar in play, so Muldrifter currently costs 2 mana. Just jam the first one. Drawing the second one off the Mortuary Mire. Big turn. Okay. Muldrifter draws cards. Okay. Another Muldrifter. Meaning Mines is 0 mana. Because you just tap a Spellstutter Sprite for it. It's so fun when that happens. Let's cast a Meeting of Minds. Cast another Meeting of Minds. I'm looking for Archaeomancer so I can Ghostly Flicker to just win the game. Yep, there's an Archaeomancer. That means that Ghostly Flicker locks them down. We can flicker the Spellstutter sprites. All right, let's do it again. I think this hand is good if we draw a white source and we have preordained to look for it. We are on the draw. Our opponent leads on a 1-drop. Get in. So our planes, find a preordain or a Spellstutter sprite. I can preordain here. I want to top or bottom and top, so we can draw into the Ash Barrens. I think I will probably leave open the Spellstutter. They play a Bushwhacker. They're attacking in for 1. Land, pass the turn. Drawing the blue elemental blast is good because we can have Faithful plus blast open. No spells. They're getting in for 2, putting me to 16. I'll cycle for the planes. Land, Faithful. So the Mocking Sprite only discounts instants and sorceries. Does not discount blue spells. So Spellstutter does not get discounted. All that good stuff. I think it makes sense to throw the Spellstutter on the table as soon as possible, but maybe not. They're getting in. I'll block. They didn't do anything. Play the Mire. They have an Implement. So now I have Spellstutter Sprite plus Blue Blast, which is sweet. Counter your Implement. They have a Red Blast. Well, we got the whole stack covered here, unfortunately for our opponent. And now next turn we can play out the Mocking Sprite and have Double Snap plus Medium Mines available. Walk. Okay. Play the Sprite. I think I'm gonna... I guess I'm passing. Probably going to play the Medium Mines, like in response to their spell, and then snap and replay the Spellstutter Sprite. Pass Medium Mines. They have Reckless Impulse, and we have 2 fairies on the table. Snap this. That is so sweet. One tap. Spellstutter, you're Reckless. Very nice. They can get in for 2, but they don't get that draw. Find a Muldrifter. Play Familiar. Now, there's a little bit of use out of the Mocking Sprite, but it's maybe not the greatest. Gonna evoke the Muldrifter. Let's see if anything cool happens here. Draw, maybe we didn't draw anything good. We can snap the Muldrifter. Now I have double cost reducer for the Lorien revealed, so I can just hard cast that. That is nice. Draw 3 cards. Or 21 life. And at this point, I'll get in. Our opponent attacks for 2. Not concerned, I'll just take it. If we ended up blocking with the Familiar, they could Galvanic Blast my creature. They'll use a Lightning Bolt. And then if they have like a End the Festivities, they could take out all my fairies. It sort of looks like they have a Kuldotha Rebirth. They could Kuldotha the Clockwork. All right, we find a Faithful off the top into, looks like just play the Muldrifter. This allows me to hold up the Hydroblast. We could play the Familiar and the Muldrifter to be mana efficient, but then we would not be able to use this. Yoink. And having another 103 on the table doesn't matter that much right now. All right, we can cast Medium Mines, draw, and just go ahead and get in. We're at 25. Spellstutter Sprite coming up. They play Voldaren Epicure and a Kuldotha. So they're getting in for 2. We take 1, going to 23. Archaeomancer. Sweet. So let's start with Familiar. Play the Archaeomancer. We could get Lorien revealed. That's probably the best. And then I could play the Mortuary Mire to get back to Familiar. Not cast the Lorien revealed this turn, just hold open the Spellstutter Sprite. Right now, Lorien revealed costs me 2 mana. If I play, or 3 mana, if I play the Familiar next turn, it costs me just blue, and I have a bunch of mana open. But Spellstutter Sprite for their potential Bushwhack off the 2 lands, I think that's worth holding open. They've got a Kuldotha again. Let's just Sprite it. And another Kuldotha. They were Kuldotha flooded. They find a Chain Lightning, but let's see if they have a land. No land. Okay. Play Familiar. and then play Lorien for 2 mana. Draw 3 cards. Another Spellstutter. Let's start with Preordain. I don't really need these cards at all. Play the Chancery and pick up the Mortuary Mire. This is attack for 5. Oh, I didn't see the other Spellstutter on the other side of the table. Could have attacked for 6. Yep. So next turn, I guess I flash in, and then I can attack for 7. I go Chain Lightning. So I'm going to respond with a Spellstutter Sprite. This gives me 7 damage in the air, even though I messed up my attacks earlier. No attacks for our opponent. Let's land cycle, just to see if we can draw more action. Getting lands out of the deck is good. Alright, GG. We'll see you in round 2. Okay, round 2 on the play. This hand is fine. Keep. Land, familiar. We can play Sprite. That makes Thraben Charm a 1 mana spell. It's kind of weak to removal though, this whole thing. Land, pass the turn. Twisted Landscape indicates they're probably on some sort of Jund or Black-Green Glee. They could be on a Gardens build. Play out the familiar and pass the turn. So if they are, okay, Mountain. I'm wondering if it's a control version or if it's just Gardens, or just like, so cast down, so it's a control deck. So we can play out our Sprite, pass the turn. I don't know if it's a Wildfire version or not. They play a Wellspring, Colony Garden. Let's lead on evoking the Muldrifter, trying to draw some lands. Okay. Land, I'll get in for 2. Next turn, I can hardcast the Lorien Revealed. But if they kill this Mocking Sprite this turn, we probably want to cycle for a land and then go Faithful Mancer, get back the Lorien Revealed. They Insight the Wellspring. Plays another Twisted Landscape. I guess it sort of makes sense to me to just do this. We're recycling, grabbing an island, get our creatures on the table, we guarantee a land drop, and then put Lorien Revealed back into the hand. End up drawing a Chancery. We'll go Mancer, grab the Lorien Revealed, and get in for 2 again. They crack the Landscape. If they play a Chrysalis here, we can blast it with the Thraben Charm because it only costs 1 mana. They played Crypt Rats. Not a fan. So they can sack the rats for 2, kill everything but the Faithful. Then we have to play the Lorien Revealed for full cost and play the Chancery. Okay, so they correctly do this on their turn. If they gave us a turn, we could draw into something to get out of it. They're at 14 life. Take a draw. It's a Muldrifter, so I'll put that on the table just to get more creatures going, because they're a deck that plays emblems, and I want to have creatures to attack the emblem. Chancery, pick up the plains. Spellstutter Sprite's a pretty good creature for taking down emblems. They don't have a lot of 1-drops, though. They get back the Crypt Rats. Plays a Wellspring. Okay, I really hope they just cast the Crypt Rats here, because I can blast it with the Thraben Charm. They play the Rats. If they don't have a land drop, well, they play the Witch's Cottage as their land drop this turn. So we will go ahead and murder that. Donk. I have a Sprite for a Defile, or I can just draw 3. I think it probably makes sense to just play a draw 3. Alright, draw 3 cards. Double Sprite. We do need another familiar though. They play a Geothermal Bog, 5 cards in hand. They can play the Insight to sack the Wellspring for 5 mana. Cracks the Wellspring with the Insight, so they draw up to 8 cards in hand. Let's see if they have a 0 or 1-drop to kill the Muldrifter. Looks like they're discarding a hand size. Okay, Familiar here is awesome. Let's preordain. Now our Spellstutter Sprites cost 1 mana. Finding an Ephemerate. I'll top the Ephemerate, play the land, get in, and then we'll just try to act on their turn here. They play a Crypt Rats again. Okay. Now they're going to sack the rats. I'm going to draw some cards. I probably should have flickered the island here. That was a mistake. No reason to flicker this familiar. Okay. I'll cycle for a basic. And then that resolves. I think I'm flashing in the Spellstutter Sprite as an attacker. Trying to take them off of, let's go Faithful. Cast a Preordain. I'm trying to take them off of Snuff Out. Ephemerate and Sprite. Bottom, top the Sprite, play a Mocking Sprite, play land, attack in. I can counter a 3-drop now with my Spellstutter Sprite. They play a land, they have 6 cards in hand. Looks like they're going for a land cycle. They have Jund Mana Floating. Plays Crypt Rats. I'll Spellstutter Sprite it. So this isn't great because they could use a removal spell, but I do still have the Ephemerate. Try to resolve the Ephemerate. Looks like this is going to resolve. GG. Maybe it's not GG, but feels good to take out that Crypt Rats. That was their 3rd one. We win. Okay, so this deck, we want the excludes. We can remove some number of faithfuls. We might also want 1 prohibit. We'll go down to 1 faithful. Exclude is very good at stopping the initiative, but also stopping the rats. And then usually you can just remove the faithfuls versus control decks. They would probably have a pretty good clock if they get their chrysalises down, though. We have 3 land drops. Double Ephemerate isn't great. If I find an untapped land, I can cycle for a plains, play the Ash Barrens out. So I'm probably going to have to discard the Ephemerate to hand size, or the Faithful. Our opponent Deadly Disputes, so they have potential for a turn 4 Monarch. Play the Chancery, pick up. Oops. I messed up. Oh no. That was bad. I F6'd. I meant to float the mana with the Ash Barrens, so now we don't have that as an option. 4 mana for the opponent. Looks like they're going to play Chrysalis. Okay, so play the Plains, or the Barrens. Faithful. Snap this. They snuff out my creature. We will evoke a Moldrifter. They can't recast that thing this turn. They could cast an Avenging Hunter. I think that my not cycling the Ash Barrens is totally screwing me. Okay. Opponent cracks for a mountain, so they can cast the creature next turn. Plays a forest. Looks like a Crypt Rats. Sure. Play the Floodplain and pass the turn. My plan is to flash in a Sprite and block the Crypt Rats. They're getting in. A flash and a Spellstutter Sprite. This is going to 1-for-1 something. They have a Defile. Okay. So they can cast the Chrysalis. I can go Drifter Ephemerate. Mocking Sprite doesn't do that much. Evoke the Moldrifter. They've already used 1 Snuff Out, so they probably don't have another one in hand. Ephemerate. Kind of need lands. Wow. Alright, we'll go to the next game. I threw pretty bad there. Maybe I can take out 1 or 2 of the Mocking Sprites. So now I have Prohibit, Exclude, Thraben Charm. Okay. We would like to play first. And I'll keep this. Exclude looking really good. Let's just island into Preordain. We're on the play, so we will have a turn 3 Exclude available. I'll top both of these. We're going to be drawing the Mocking Sprite. I can cycle for an island and play the Chancery, picking up my other island, holding up the Exclude for the next turn. I don't know if it matters that much on that turn, though. Our opponent plays a Swamp. Nihil Spellbomb. Okay. Let's grab an island, and then put the Chancery on the table. Playing Chancery on turn 2 makes you have to discard to hand size if you're on the draw. But as it is, it kind of just gives us an extra land, extra card in hand. They play a Swamp. Pilfer. Sure. If they take the Exclude, I think I just put the Mocking Sprite on the table. They took the Mocking Sprite. Okay. I'll go land. Pass the turn. They play a Mountain. And a Limbus. We'll put the Sprite on the table. From Moldrifter. Cast a Preordain. Ephemerate. I'll bottom the land, top the Ephemerate, play the land, pass the turn. I'm just holding up either Exclude or Meeting. They grab a Swamp. No forests for them right now, so they can't cast the Chrysalis unless they have it in hand. They're paying 2 mana. Playing a Wellspring. On the Garden, okay. So we'll play the Meeting of Minds. Draw 2. Snap. Play the Chancery. Pick up this. Snap this plant. Floating a white. So we can ephemerate the Spellstutter for a Defile, potentially. That might have been a little aggressive. They defile their own creature. We ephemerate, get rid of the Defile. They could snuff out my creature. They snuff out their creature. Okay, fine. Feel like we both made some mistakes there. Here comes a Writhing Chrysalis. We're just going to ephemerate the Spellstutter. They have now Spellbomb though. We have a Snap. Snap your Chrysalis. Untap. Play Muldrifter. Draw some cards. Another Exclude. Okay. We can just start passing. Hopefully these Excludes carry. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they'll have 2 mana left over to potentially cast a Thorn. But we can take back the Monarch with our flyers. They use an Eviscerator's Insight to draw some cards. Plays a land. We have double Exclude. Just the value. The value! They're going for a Crypt Rats, Drown in Sorrow. Okay. That kills your spawns. I'll cycle for an island. I guess I'm looking for another Muldrifter or just any draw spells. Familiar's fine. Play the land, pass the turn. They have 6 mana now. Go for the Chrysalis. We are going to respond with an Exclude. Because the Exclude costs 2 mana if they don't kill the Familiar first. And now we have Prohibit and Exclude. So they could go for the Thorn or Crypt Rats. They're passing. Preordain, okay, let's set up some draws. Flicker and Island, I don't want either. Just looking for cards that draw cards. So a Spellstutter Sprite can counter a Defile only right now. Prohibit can counter one of their Deadly Dispute effects. We'll just counter the Deadly Dispute with a Prohibit. I do need attackers. Spellstutter Sprite is not a very fast clock. Another... Okay. Chrysalis that gets countered. Doink. We draw a card. Meeting of Minds is good. Okay, I'll counter your Spellbomb with a Spellstutter Sprite. Sick. And they're passing. So now let's Meeting of Minds. Draw 2. Okay, Mancer and Muldrifter. And a Prohibit. So we start out with the Archaeomancer trying to get back the Ephemerate. They have to crack the Spellbomb. You could wait on this, but just getting them the Spellbomb out of their hand right now I think is good. 2, 3, 4. So at this point, I would like to play out the Muldrifter, but I don't want to lose to a Crypt Rats, so I'm just going to attack with the Spellstutter Sprite. I want to be able to kick the Prohibit to counter the Crypt Rats. We still have 1 Ephemerate and 1 Flicker left in the deck. They crack for a Swamp, 3 cards in hand. Plays a Pilfer, I'll counter. I don't want them to be able to take my Muldrifter, but this allows them to be able to cast a Crypt Rats now. Looks like they just have another Chrysalis. We're looking to draw into the Thraben Charm. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We could kill it. Start with the Lorien Revealed. Drawing 3 is better than 2. Okay. I'll go Meeting of Minds. Draw. There's a Thraben Charm. So land. Muldrifter. So Thraben Charm right now deals this thing 8 damage. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Doink. They have to have removal spell in hand. They didn't. Okay. So we should be smooth sailing now. We can Ephemerate for Prohibit. But we have to live until our turn. They can't do anything. Great. I'll cast Meeting of Minds. Another Familiar. Let's try to Ephemerate. Okay, that resolved. We'll get back to Prohibit. And now I can play the Familiar. I can kick the Prohibit for 2 mana now. I'll play out a Muldrifter. Oops. Accidentally clicked the Chancery. That was bad. I'll pick up the Plains though. Okay. Now I can go Mancer. Get back Thraben Charm. Attack for 2. The focus is on making sure they don't land a Crypt Rats right now. Otherwise, we have it all locked up. They defile a Familiar. Fine. So now they could play the Crypt Rats. That Defile made it so that I can't kick the Prohibit now. But they didn't have the Crypt Rats in hand. Awesome. Ephemerate. Get back the Ephemerate. Okay, we have a Mocking Sprite. Let's go Mire. Get back the Familiar. Cast the Mocking Sprite. And attack. I'll draw 3 cards. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten back the Familiar there. Let's discard a Plains. Because I already have... I just wanted all the cost reducers. I can also Ephemerate the Spellstutter Sprite to counter a 2-drop. Okay, our opponent has scooped. On to round 3. Round 3 on the play again. This hand is good. Keep. We have tap land into hold Spellstutter Sprite. Or we just, you know, depending on what's going on with the opponent, if we think that the Spellstutter Sprite is important, we can hold it open. Otherwise, just play the Faithful. And then Chancery back the Glacial Floodplain. Guildgate. Okay, they probably aren't going to have 1-drops. At this point, drawing the Familiar, I'm just going to slam it. They might be able to get me by having a Journey to Nowhere right now. Modern Age. Alright, so I think I go Faithful into Meeting of Minds. They discard a Sacred Cat. Play the Faithful. Then I'll cast the Meeting of Minds. And then play the Chancery. Okay. I'll be interested to see how this works against our opponent. If we get the Mocking Sprite on the table, then Spellstutter Sprite can counter all of their counter spells, which is going to be sick. They play a Squadron Hawk. So we'll go Mocking Sprite into our Faithful. Alright. Faithful. Snap this thing. Untap. Play the Mocking Sprite. And then draw 3 cards. Sick. Multiple cost reducers. I love it. It's so cool. I don't know why I didn't think about this before. You didn't even see this thing existing. Nobody talked about it. Okay. What do you got? They play another Modern Age. This is going to be awesome. I can play Familiar, then they counterspell. I respond with a Spellstutter Sprite. Or they just tap out. Okay, they didn't tap out. Let's go Sunscape Familiar. They didn't do anything. I'll evoke the Muldrifter. Because I can just put it on top with the Mortuary Mire. Then draw some cards and hold up the Spellstutter. They have a counterspell. Sprite. Counter your counter. Draw 2. Oh, we draw Meeting of Minds. I can cast it by tapping just the Muldrifter. Awesome. Then we will Mortuary Mire to get back the Muldrifter. We're so far ahead. It was sweet. Our opponent. Draw and discard. They loot away a CawGate. Play an island. Another Modern Age. Discards a Squadron Hawk. Plays a Preordain. Yeah, the Spellstutter Sprite being able to counter anything is just really good here. And now, since they tapped out, I'm going to go Drifter, Snap Drifter. Just for more cards drawn. Maybe pick up the Mortuary Mire. Chancery. We'll pick up the Mire. Evoke the Muldrifter. I have tons of mana floating. Snap it. Here comes double Drifter. Untap. Okay. Muldrifter number 1. We're at 39. Muldrifter number 2. Okay. Instead of just continuing to draw tons of more cards, even though it would be really fun, I will pass the turn and hold up the Meeting of Minds for their turn. Let's yield to these triggers. They're going to loot first before flipping their creature. They discard a Squadron Hawk, 4 cards in hand. Lay out another Basilisk Gate. They could pump for +8 right now. Goes Preordain. I'm currently saving the Spellstutter Sprite in hand for a counterspell. They have 1 more Hawk in play, in hand. Pumps up the Hawk. Getting in for 7, sure. I don't care. We'll flash a Meeting of Minds off just 1 Muldrifter. Take a counterspell, and I have the Spellstutter Sprite. We draw. Drawing a Snap. Okay. Start with a Preordain. I'm not even sure what I want to do here. I have just so many options. Currently have lots of lands in hand. Ephemerate and Mocking Sprite. I'll top both of these. We'll get in with the Muldrifters. We'll get in. We'll Ephemerate the one that's blocked, and then we'll snap it again. just to make mana. They block. I will ephemerate, draw some cards, and then snap it. Untap. Okay, our opponent takes 2 damage. We can play... Mocking Sprite costs 1 mana. I'll play the Mulldrifter first. We're running out of cards in deck. I almost decked myself. Play the land. Play another Mocking Sprite. And then I'm going to pass. We'll discard Chancery and Barrens. This time I'm going to block with the Mulldrifter to put it in the graveyard so I can Mortuary Mire it back. Makes a Hawk bigger. Okay. They're getting in for 5. I'll block. I think I'll rattle off these Spellstutter sprites at the earliest moment. Doink. They have a Brainstorm on the stack. Not anymore. Deck is mean. So our Ephemerate's going to resolve, or rebound, draw some cards off the Mulldrifter, play Mortuary Mire, get back the Mulldrifter. We'll go Archaeomancer to get back the Snap. Well, the Ephemerate first. Ephemerate for Snap. They've got a counterspell. I've got another Spellstutter sprite for your counterspell. Feels mean. Counter that. Get the Ephemerate. Then I'm going to Ephemerate the Mancer. Get back the Snap. Play a Faithful. We win. We win hard. So I think everything was fine. I don't know if we need to change anything. Resubmit. We're on the draw game 2. This hand is medium for sure. We don't have anything going on, but we have land drops. Our opponent plays a CawGate naming white. So we're looking for 1 drops, 2 drops. I'll play land go. They preordain. They go top bottom, play a Citadel Gate on blue. So no Hydroblast coming up yet. Chancery is decent. We get to pick up the island and discard Plains. Plains is really not where you want to be in FAMs because FAMs is a blue deck splashing white. If they do tap out, I could consider evoking the Mulldrifter. Plays a Squadron Hawk. Best draw for me might be a Snap so I can go Drifter Ephemerate. They reveal some more Hawks. Plays a Preordain. Okay, we're looking for a Snap. Heapgate can be scary because it adds a lot of untapped mana for them. Spellstutter sprite, huh? I'll just play this sprite and I'll play the land and pass. And then flash in the sprite on end step. They Basilisk Gate. They go Brainstorm, I'll flash in the sprite. They kind of have to respond. They don't have a response. Wow. Okay. Holding up Counterspell? What's going on? They didn't have a counter there. I'm just going to Drifter Ephemerate now. Plays a Preordain. I didn't really want to trade the sprite for their Hawk right away. Plays a Cat. So let's go Drifter Ephemerate. Bam. Okay. I'm going to attack in. This time I think I discard the island. I might want two planes in play given I have a second Ephemerate. A Journey to Nowhere. Probably getting rid of the Mulldrifter. Mulldrifter down. And this allows me to maintain the Ephemerate because I can Ephemerate the Stutter now. Lamb. Okay, Faithful and Faithful. Let's go Faithful. Play the land. Play Meeting of Minds. Draw. I can Ephemerate the Spellstutter if they have a Pyroblast. Yeah, buddy. We Ephemerate the Spellstutter. Draw 2. Finding a Preordain. Draw some more. Mulldrifter's on top. Okay, Drifters for days. Passing the turn. So we'll go Faithful into Mulldrifter into Meeting of Minds. They're getting in. Fine. They go to 21, we're at 17. Not doing anything else. I'll Ephemerate the Faithful. Play another Faithful. This makes me feel like they have a counterspell again. I'm gonna pass. Okay, let's Meeting of Minds. Draw. They've used the Heapgate, so... Alright, we find a Familiar. Opponent gets in for 2. We go back to 17. They go to 22. Brainstorm. I'm going to flicker the Spellstutter, try to counter the Brainstorm. Now all my flickers are in the graveyard, which is scary because if they have a relic, they can get rid of everything. then I have to win in some sort of fair way, which can be tough. I think we're 1-0 right now. They red blast that. So they're probably going to cast their Squadron Hawk. Okay, currently we're 1-0 in the match. Cycles Alorian revealed. So their Hawks are back in the deck. I will attempt a Familiar. Attempt a Muldrifter. Counterspells the Muldrifter. Okay, so we'll put it on top and get in for 1. You go back to 21. They have a Preordain. They go bottom, bottom. Plays a Brainstorm. I wonder if they kept a Hawk in hand. Cycles with the Lorien revealed, so no Hawk. 3 mana available. Only 3 cards in hand. Plays a Squadron Hawk. So this turn we have double Muldrifter. And I'm looking to draw into another Spellstutter. See if we can do it. Getting in. I should have blocked. That was dumb. No reason not to there. I just got used to not doing it. Play a Muldrifter. Snap. Going to pick up the Mortuary Mire, snap the Muldrifter. Untap. Play the Muldrifter again. Another snap. Okay, I think I'm all set. I'm gonna wait till my next turn and use a snap as a ritual. It's gonna be plus 3 mana by untapping the 2 Chanceries. They go Lorien revealed. Okay. Draws 3 cards up to 6 in hand. Squadron Hawk, we're gonna sprite it. Now they can't attack because of the Muldrifter in play. I can go Drifter, Snap, and turn the Snap into a draw 2. I always like doing that. So we evoke the Muldrifter, we're floating blue-white. And then we'll set the triggers, snap the Muldrifter. Alright, looks like it's probably game over now. Play Familiar. Play Archaeomancer. Get back the Ephemerates. Ephemerate for Ephemerate. And then we'll Ephemerate for Flicker. Get back the Flicker. Snap your cat. Play the Muldrifter. And then we'll go Drifter, Flicker, Drifter. We have 26 cards left, 28 cards left in the library. Drifter. Flicker these 2. Okay, draw back the Flicker. Didn't really get anything else good. Let's go Preordain. There's a Mocking Sprite and a Lorien revealed. Both these are fine. Play the land, and then just go ahead and attack. And they don't want to trade. They go to 20. We can discard Floodplain. It's not that useful. Later on, it could be good. I'm planning on picking up the Plains with the Chancery at some point, but I do want to play the Mortuary Mire out. And they're gating up their Hawk, which doesn't do anything. We're at 43 life. What is 6 damage going to do? Plays a Sacred Cat, sure. Another Sacred Cat. Representing Pyroblast still. Okay. They gate up the Squadron Hawk. Attacking. So here we just block with the Muldrifter and Flicker, Drifter, Mancer. Easy. Get back the Flicker. Double Sprite. There's not really anything in our graveyard that we need. But we want to use a bunch of snaps to make mana and get their lifelinkers off the table. But we win the match. 3-0 on to round 4. Round 4 versus the big boy from Pisa. We only have 0 lands. We can't play this as a land. We have to mulligan. Okay. Keeping... I'll get rid of 1 Plains. Great Furnace. Okay, so we're super behind already. I don't have any early game. Do have a Spellstutter Sprite. Cycle for an island. So a Spellstutter Sprite could be good. We can trade for a 1-drop and then block a creature. I don't know if that's going to work out. They discard a Sneaky Snacker, so they're on Madness Burn. Getting in for 1. I'll play my island and pass the turn. Looking to aggressively Spellstutter any sort of like Faithless Looting effect or 1-drop like Voldaren Epicure. They're getting in for 1 again. Cast an Epicure. We've got the Sprite. So they have to bolt it. Okay, bolt's my thing. We go to 16. Land. I'll play a Mocking Sprite out. Pass the turn. They Faithless Looting, which gives them the Sneaky Snacker. And then what? They've got a Kitchen Imp and a Sneaky Snacker, so I will throw the Sprite in front of the Kitchen Imp. Plays another land. And they plot a robbery. Block. Easy block. Preordain, we're looking for Faithfuls. We have a Thraben Charm. Bottom this. I'll top the charm, and then exile your graveyard. Playing the Chancery. Next turn, I play a Mulldrifter. I still don't feel like we're in a good spot. They have Robbery plotted. 4 damage coming in right now. Getting in. We're at 10. We have not drawn any Faithfuls. That's it for them. Play the Mulldrifter. So we're looking at going to 7 life by blocking a Voldaren Epicure. Multiple sprites. I don't know if that's that good. They blast face. Okay, I think we're just dead. They discard a mountain. Okay. So if I block here, I go to 4. They discard another land. It's like a grab the prize. Okay, GG. This deals me 4 damage, or 2 damage, plus I'm taking 4 damage no matter what. So we want the Hydroblasts. Maybe the Thraben Charm. I'm going to get rid of the Ephemerates. 1 sprite, that's relatively costly. I think the Thraben Charms might not be good enough. Get rid of 1 charm. Maybe just 2 Mocking Sprites. We have a bunch of Hydroblasts and a bunch of Spellstutters. Will that be enough? Little sketchy. We need to be on the play with Faithfuls and stuff. Mulligan. Okay, have the Faithful. We can put back an island. Play the island, pass the turn. So I can either go cycle for planes right now, play the planes, turn 2, or I can just cycle for an island, play the Chancery. They go Jagged Barrens. I'm going to grab an island and then plan on playing the Chancery out. I guess the problem would be if they have a Contaminated Ground. We drew a tap land anyway, so I'll play the tap land and go. They have a Duress for my Meeting of Minds. I've never seen this deck play Duress before. So our plan is Faithful, play Chancery, pick up Island, next turn play Archaeomancer. Okay, they also missed a land drop. Your turn. Went ahead and played my lands out as expected. They grabbed the prize, discarding a land. But they didn't make a land drop last turn. They just have nothing going on? I don't really get it. I wonder what is happening over there. They play a ping land again. Archaeomancer for the Meeting of Minds is good and we'll pass. We cannot cast the Meeting of Minds right now. I need 2 creatures plus 2 mana. But we can on my turn cast it and then snap the Archaeomancer and replay the Archaeomancer. Very aggressively duressing. Okay. I guess I don't get to cast Meeting of Minds, but I have a 1/2 in play. So I'm currently hoping that they tap out. They play a Carnarium, picking up a ping land. I'll attack with my Archaeomancer. There's like a high likelihood they have a bolt here, so I don't think I can snap my Archaeomancer right now. Okay, they're just passing again. Do they have red blasts? More duresses? Who knows? Find a Meeting of Minds. I'll cast it. Hopefully we can draw those cards. No Pyroblast? Okay, but we drew a very large amount of lands. Yikes. Maybe our opponent also only has lands in hand. 2 mana, they Vampire's Kiss. We go to 18. Now they can start blooding. Pings us to 17 with their land, 5 cards in hand. Still doing nothing. Play a Faithful, and attack you back down to 20. We have 4 Mulldrifters, 2 Meanings, and 2 Lorien Revealed to draw. A Fiery Temper face. Still leaving open a bolt for the Archaeomancer. Okay, they've tapped their land. Looks like they have a Kitchen Imp here. We'll go to 12. I can gain 2 life at instant speed by trying to snap something, but I really need to be able to resolve the snap. Another snap. I'll attack in with the Archaeomancer. Our opponent grabs the prize, discarding Faithless Looting. Drawing 2 cards, we go to 10 life. Kitchen Imp will put me to 8 life. And then they could try to kill me with the looting. They cast Alms of the Vein, putting me to 5. Okay. My turn. I draw Lorien Revealed. Start out by attacking. I'll cast the Lorien Reveal, going to 7 life. Now they have to start using instant speed burn if they want to get me. If I can find a Hydroblast, I'll feel pretty good. Because then I could snap and replay the Archaeomancer for the Meaning of Minds and cast the Meaning of Minds. Our opponent's been very specific about all their plays. They're almost 10 minutes down on clock. They go Lightning Bolt. Okay. Another Lightning Bolt. We'll snap the Archaeomancer. Galvanic Blast. So that does kill me, right? Bummer. Opponent, you did it. We take 4. GG. Round 5. We have a very mediocre opener. I'm going to mulligan this one. Okay. This is probably fine. Not great. We have Double Faithful, so that helps versus a lot of the format. Opponent's on Forest, Arbor Elf. It's not great. Let's go Faithful, pass the turn. Drawing another land. We need to draw into, I guess a Spellstutter would be cool because we could snap and then sprite the Arbor Elf. They Wild Growth, they have 3 mana. Repurposer, that puts them to 4 mana. Let's just get rid of this for the moment. Untap. Play the Faithful. Then grab an island. So this puts them off of a big creature just for a sec. Okay, here comes a Chrysalis. Next turn they have 5 mana. I need a cost reducer. Flicker doesn't do anything. I'm feeling like this is a pretty solid way to build the deck, but I don't really like the Meaning of Minds package, and I know I've talked about that in the past. I just wasn't sure how I would add in a Modern Age package. I think I would just trim the 4 Meaning of Minds and 1 of the 3-drop fairy for 3 Meaning of Minds and 2 Deep Analysis. They play an Arbor Elf and another Repurposer. Okay. Draw the Mocking Sprite. That means next turn we have a Lorien Revealed. They're going to make a lot of mana. 7 mana. Annoyed Altasaur finding a Utopia Sprawl. So we'll get hit for 5 damage here. Next turn it's 11 damage coming in. But we'll gain 2 life back. Block, block. Cast Lorien Revealed. I guess I'm looking for a snap. Or a Preordain. I found a Preordain. Preordain! Meaning of Minds. Okay, bottom the sprite, top the Meaning of Minds. That means on their turn I block and then cast the Meaning of Minds. Because of the cost reduction. Our opponent has 5 mana. 6 mana. Boarding Party. Into a Chrysalis. 7, 13. They're attacking for 20? Okay. There might be a chance for us to untap and go infinite. Okay, block, block, cast Meaning of Minds. We'd have to have a Familiar maybe, and a Snap, and a Archaeomancer, and then we could make infinite flickers for infinite life. There's the Archaeomancer. Cast Meaning of Minds again. Come on, Familiar. Didn't find it. Let's cast a Preordain. At 10 life. Another Meaning of Minds. Bottom. Can go Archaeomancer. Snap your Altasaur. Bottom again. Play Archaeomancer. Snap. I'm at 12. I don't know how I get out of this. Snap the biggest threat and then flicker. Plays Avenging Hunter. I actually, if I live, I have infinite life. So I just have to figure out how to live. 12 life. They're attacking for a bajillion. 6, 7. Plays another Chrysalis. Play off me with the Chrysalises. 4, 5, 6. We block here. Then we snap. 5, 7, 10, 13. Plus 4. Snap this one. Tap my 2 lands. 6, 12, 18. So I'll go see Flicker here. Get back. Snap. I'm at 16. They have 6, 12, 18. Then I'll snap my Archaeomancer. Flash in a Spellstutter Sprite. Go to 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. That doesn't work. Play the Archaeomancer. Okie dokie. Get back the Flicker. I'm so close. Oh, they can get something, make something huge, enormous too. Okay, makes the repurposer bigger. Plays another chrysalis. Sure, I'm just going to yield until the attacks. Alright, block here. Block here. Block here. Block here. Block here. So this is 11. We can flicker here and here. Get a snap. Snap this. Can snap and replay the Spellstutter. Okay, I'm just going to go this game. I was really close. Mocking Sprite costing 3 to get on the table. Oh my god. I was so close. Dang. Okay, we want the excludes. We want the Thraben Charms. Cut 1 sprite. Cut 2 faithfuls. Maybe 2 sprites. Let's submit. Alright, we're on the play. This is fine, probably. I'll lead on the preordain and look for cost reducers. Flicker could be good. I'm taking Flicker and Island. This turn I'll play, let's see. They go Arbor Elf, alright. So we will snap the Arbor Elf and then rely on this Spellstutter. They play another Arbor Elf, we've got the counter. There's a Relic. Okay, so they're not really doing anything right now, which is good. But them being able to Relic all my stuff away is bad. Get in. They get rid of the snap with the Relic. Plays a third land. Wild Growth on the land. I can blast that with a Thraben Charm. Let's cycle for an island. Destroy your enchantment. Chancery, pick up this. Get in for 1. Now the Relic will eat the Barrens that I cycled, and this turn I can Archaeomancer to get back the Thraben Charm. Looks like they have a Chrysalis. They have You Meet in a Tavern. Finds Boarding Party, Eldrazi Repurposer. Play Archaeomancer to get back the Thraben Charm. Land, get in for 1. Currently I can blast something for 4 damage with the Thraben Charm. Did I take out both of my flickers, my ephemerates? I didn't take out any ephemerates. Okay. Chrysalis, that's a 2/3, and it can block. Alright, let's just see what happens here. I guess best case scenario, they play the Boarding Party. They go Malevolent Rumble. Finding Avenging Hunter, Altasaur, Forest, Malevolent Rumble. 6 mana. Cast the Repurposer. The Chrysalis is getting out of hand. 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. Okay, I'll take it. I need a creature, so I can take out this Chrysalis. Another sprite. Yep. I guess I attack for 1. Looks like they're going to play the Boarding Party. 7 mana. Not Boarding Party. Plays Annoyed Altasaur. Cascading into a Generous End. Yikes. Makes a food. They're attacking in. I'm going to Thraben Charm to destroy this thing. So they'll be able to eat the Thraben Charm. But then I can flash in the Spellstutter sprite. And then I can flicker and block. As well as blast the Annoyed Altasaur. I'm casting the Spellstutter. Getting on the table. Moved blocks. Block, block. Then we can just flick our 2 creatures. There's nothing to counter with the sprite. We can go evoke the Moldrifter. We have 4, 7, 8 mana. 6, 7, 8. Okay. Let's evoke the Moldrifter. Draw. Flicker here. Get back to flicker. And then this is 12. Plus 5 is 17. So I'm going to Faithful into Preordain. Okay. I'll top both of these. Pass the turn. We're probably going to be chumping with one of these Spellstutter sprites. They play the Avenging Hunter. Okay, now I don't really want to chump. They have a lot of reach creatures though. Gets a land. They're attacking in. So I block here. 6, 12, 15, 17. Block this one too. We take 11. Start with a Preordain. Well, I'll attack in for 2. I mean, it gives me the initiative. I get to get an island. I would like a snap probably. Let's go Preordain. Familiar is good. Bottom. Top the Familiar. Play the Familiar. I can kill this thing. Let's flicker here. They are going to get rid of my flicker. Get back the ghostly flicker here. Oh no, you cracked your relic. That's so weird. Find a faithful. I'll cycle. Grab a plains. Play the plains. Play the faithful. Then pass. See what they do. This Thraben Charm can kill any one of their creatures. Plays another Avenging Hunter. I will exclude. Go to 11 life. They swing out. So we block here. Block here. At 11. I guess I block with the Mole Drifter then. So I'll be taking 8 damage. Alright, whatever. I don't feel very confident anymore. We lost the flicker. We don't have snaps. Everything is going to kill me. They make their Avenging Hunter gigantic. We can play a familiar. Play a Mole Drifter. Opponent's going to gain some life. Sure. Cast a Preordain. Go to 5 life. Bottom both of these. Looking for snaps. We didn't find snaps. Stinks. Cast a Lorien. Okay. We have Meeting of Minds and stuff, but I can't do anything with just a... Yeah, we're just dead. Unfortunate end. I overall like this deck. It was fun. But I think we need to be a little bit better at doing stuff. Like, just Meeting of Minds ended up being kind of crummy. So, the original list, I swapped it. We'd go like the Modern Age Deep Analysis. We could also get rid of another Mocking Sprite. The Mocking Sprite was pretty techy and fun. Just go for more Modern Ages. I'm not really sure. I feel like not having the blockers in the air for the... and not being able to deal with Flood. Those two things I didn't like. So maybe this Mocking Sprite I'm not sure about. But having the extra cost reducers was cool. So hopefully you enjoyed it and like checking it out. We'll see you in the next video.